2K Sports and the PGA Tour, proud to bring you the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. We're at one of golf's iconic venues, Torrey Pines, and our first round coverage of the Farmers Insurance Open. It's about to begin. Hello everyone, Luke Elvey here alongside my booth mate Rich Beam, and out on the course is Henny Koyak and John McCarthy. And Beamer, certainly set up for a stunner today at Torrey Pines South. What do you think these players face this week from the course?
They face a rude awakening. They haven't played too many golf courses yet this year, but they're going to run into Torrey Pines South, and you're going to figure out exactly how good a shape your golf game is in, because it's ruthless. And if you're not careful, you can go out there and shoot a big number in a hurry. It tests every facet of your game. This golf course is an absolute brute.
Now to the first hole. And as we turn our attention to our featured player this week, it's impossible to ignore the rivalry that's happening with Will Zalatoris.
Luke, I just don't understand why you'd want to start a rivalry with Will Zalatoris. This featured player must be brimming over with confidence.
Thanks, Henny. That's interesting stuff. I'll be interested to see if our featured player does indeed do well against Willie Z. This shot is about 140 yards out. Chosen the pitching wedge here. Not a bad play, that one. This putt is about 17 feet long.
What a great opportunity here for a look at a birdie.
Penny, take us through the break on this putt.
I've got it going right to left here.
Nice line. That's a well-played hole, but in the end, just tap it in for a par. Just a short putt remaining here. The second, a short par 4, one that the players like to take on these days, Rich. A good birdie look here.
They do. It used to be where you laid back on top of the hill and took a wedge, 9-iron sometimes for your second shot, but a lot of players now are challenging that bunker down the right-hand side, getting as far down there as possible, and just having a flick with a sand wedge in for their second.
Great shot. Standing over his second shot. Ooh. Well, that was like a laser straight at it. This putt coming up is for birdie. And that putt will drop. Well done. And that will take him now to 1 under for the event. One of the most photographed holes in all of the PGA Tour is this downhill par 3 third at Torrey Pines South.
I like it when they move this tee box up and it's only a wedge, because when they make it a 5-iron or more, this thing gets really difficult. Firm green, actually tilts away from you towards the ocean. This is a really difficult green to find.
Going with the 6-iron here. Lining this putt up from a fair distance. And he's down there. You got a read?
Looks like this will move to the left-hand side as it goes up the hill. Yeah, that was really nicely judged from there.
Now let's switch our attention to Will Zalatoris.
Yeah, he needs to press on that gas pedal. He's 2 strokes back from his rival.
Wonderful shot.
Uh-oh. There could be trouble ahead. The rival is coming.
A 7-footer right here. Currently 1 under for the round. The 4th hole runs right along the cliffs here of La Jolla, and it's a very strong par 4.
Very picturesque, this 4th hole. Pacific Ocean directly to the golfer's left-hand side. Don't be sucked in by the views, however. You want no part of that. And you certainly don't want any part of that fairway bunker down the right-hand side either. Find the fairway, and you've got a good chance at knocking it on this green in 2. Be wary, though. Anything long and left on this green is no good.
Will Zalatoris is someone that everyone attached themselves to very quickly. He made that explosive start to his professional career. He's already ridden some serious back injury issues, but he shows a lot of heart and character, doesn't he? Because he's fought back very quickly.
He has. He's one of those players that he's silly talented, isn't he? The ball striking is absolutely amazing. You know, we've talked a little bit about his putting a little bit, but he gets past all of that, doesn't he? He just gets the job done time and time again. And I think that's what's going to be his legacy, is that he's out there. He's going to be a grinder. He's not going to go anywhere. You know, when you go head-to-head, you're going to have your hands full. He's just one of these all-around really, really solid players in the game. And I love the way he goes about his business.
Trailing by 8 strokes now after that hole. There's a real premium on your tee shots here at Torrey Pines South Course. Keeping ball in fairways critical, and that is illustrated also by the par 4 5th.
This is a difficult driving hole. Big, deep bunkers left and right that must be avoided. From there, the second shot plays a touch downhill green that tilts pretty good from left to right and back to front. It's a strong par 4. Going and going and going.
Do you like the view from where you're standing, Henny?
I can see the 125-yard marker just nearby.
Oh, look at this. Right down the throat. Another fine-looking strike, this one. It'll find the green.
It has been fantastic to watch all week long. This player is dialed in.
Always love these opportunities, especially when it's for birdie. And stepping up the standings after that effort. The 6th hole's a really cool par 5. Once you get back up onto the top of the hill here, you want to try and take on the corner of this par 5.
Yeah, taking it down the right-hand side, it will seriously reduce this par 5, but you got to avoid the rough. It can get really nasty. From there, you could possibly run it up between all those bunkers. There's one low spot area on the left-hand side of this green that will come into play should you get your distance control a little bit wrong.
Strong play, going for it.
Oh, I like the courage here, Rich, getting after this par 5 in 2.
As they should. What a play. Hopefully they'll be rewarded for that play.
And Henny, what's he looking at for this putt?
38 feet to go with this putt.
That's a lovely looking stroke. Gotta like the look of this one. Oh my! Well, that's got to have some impact on the scoreboard. Let's take a look. currently 5 under for the day. The par 4 7th, a little dog leg left to right. Again, positioning of the tee is key.
This fairway slopes pretty good from left to right. Players want to start it out at the fairway bunker down the left-hand side and just hit a gentle fade off of that. Second shot here is to an elevated green. Don't go long whatsoever here. That's when the barranca and the canyons come into play.
Absolutely tattooed that drive.
Second shot here on the 7th.
Oh, he's trying to silence the young buck, Will Zalatoris, with that one. Really putting his cards out on the table. Brilliant stuff.
An opportunity for a birdie here. Nice one. 4th birdie of the day. Now 4 back after that hole. The 8th at Torrey Pines South is an uphill par 3. It can be a hole in one hole, or it can be an absolute brute to even find the green, depending on where that hole location is.
This green is not deep. It's wide. It's got a lot of movement from east to west, just not a lot of room north to south. You find the right section of this green, you could find yourself a nice little deuce.
That's right out of the copybooks. Exquisite.
Made birdie on the last, looking for a second in a row here.
Let's take a look at Will Zalatoris. Could it be? Oh, what a shot. Holding it from out of the rough. Wow. And that will move him up the leaderboard as well. And this putt to move into the top 20. And our man on the ground, John McCarthy, has been giving us some great reads all day. What's this one doing, mate?
It looks like this one's moving to the left, I would say.
If it's up, it could be in. He finds himself in a share of 15th position. The par 5 9th is a monster over 600 yards, Rich. Challenging, to say the least.
I think the challenging part about it, Luke, is it's just straight away. You have to hit a straight tee shot, a straight second shot, and a straight third shot to find the green in 3. It really is just that simple and straightforward. The green does have 2 tiers on it, but for the most part, Luke, it's an inviting third shot.
Rich, we know these days with the PGA Tour, the wraparound schedule, the tour begins in the fall, but really it's felt at the start of any new year that every time you come to Torrey Pines, the big stars come out to play. It feels like the authentic start to the season.
It certainly does that, and I think that the big name players, the accomplished players, love coming here to Torrey Pines because it's going to give them a gauge of exactly where their game is at and what they need to work on. Because you can't go around either the north or the south course and geek it around. You have to be on your game. You have to drive the ball well. Your iron play has to be spot on, and your short game better be sharp, because if not, you're going to shoot a million. Both of these golf courses very challenging, but they're fair, and I think that's what the players love about it. If you're in a good zone mentally and everything is going well physically, you can produce a 64 or 65. But if you're hitting it poorly and you're not thinking squarely, I'm telling you what, 77s and 78s come into the equation real quick.
That's a good looking putt, that. Tracking. Yeah, that's one of those putts you're happy to walk after. Did everything but go down. Yeah, well holed. Let's move on. So, Rich, give us a halftime report.
Well, after 9, so far so good. It's great to see these two players stepping up, getting the best out of the games. It'll be interesting to see exactly who's going to be ahead at the end of the tournament.
Well, that's unfortunate. Didn't deserve that. Sitting at 7 under. Well, a little off the target with that one.
And missing it long with that approach, not a good leave.
Ooh, that almost went down. Oh, a lovely opportunity to save par here. Henny, you've had the chance to have a look over this one?
He's looking at around 14 foot, I'd say. A big, swinging, sweeping left to righter started beautifully.
This is a bogey putt coming up. Okay, let's head to the next. Trailing by 4 strokes. The 11th at Torrey Pines South plays downhill, but it's still a long par 3.
And not a big target either. You got deep bunkers both left and right. You got a shelf up there top left. This is just a strong, difficult, lovely, if you like, par 3.
Opting for the 5-wood. That's disappointing.
Wind is absolutely swirling in this part of the golf course.
Whew. Oh, that almost went in. And he needs this to save par. And down it goes. Currently 6 under for the round. Rich, in your opinion, is this the hardest par 4 on the entire West Coast?
If it's not, it's certainly top 2. The only other one that I could think that it would come close to is probably the 10th at Pebble, especially with the tee box all the way back there. You know, it's just, it doesn't have the scenery, but it has the demand that you can't geek a drive out there and expect anything good to happen, and you certainly can't afford really to have a bad iron shot either. It's just a strong par 4. Again, different look than what you have at 10 at Pebble, but it's the difficulty is just the same.
Oh, that was so close to going in. Why don't we catch up with Will Zalatoris?
He's currently trailing his rival. Let's see what happens here.
This one looks to be on a pretty good line. A wonderful shot and a birdie opportunity coming up at the 12th. Okay, let's get back to the action. Trying to get it to 7 under par with this putt.
Short game has been absolutely fantastic today.
Penny, take us through the break on this putt.
There's a slope here, and it's going to go right to left on the slope.
This one started out on a good line. Oh, what a putt. And with that, he'll move to 7 under. Incredible. Solid play finds that player moving up the leaderboard after that hole. 13 is a really cool par 5, the first of 2 in the inward 6 holes here, but you've got to nail your drive if you want to get there in 2.
It's a very interesting hole. You know, miss those bunkers, put yourself in the fairway, but you've got this ravine that you have to hit over. It's a grass ravine, thankfully, so if you miss the fairway, you can lay up there. But going for this green, if you come up a little shy, you could find one of these 4 or 5 bunkers, both left and right, and then you've got a nearly impossible up and down from there. And again, a green that's got a section on the left and a section on the right. Very rarely do they put the pin in the middle. But boy, I'd tell you what, this is a really good, fun par 5 that you can make anywhere from 3 to 7.
That's some good golf right there. Well, that's a handy shot. If he can hold this, he'll move inside the top 10 here. So close. Just 3 feet to the cup.
This is important. Big par putt here.
Now 3 strokes back after that hole. Over to 14 we go, a par 4.
And a really good par 4 once again. Dogleg from right to left. Those bunkers on the left, you don't want any part of them. And from there, the difficulty is judging the distance with your second shot. This is an infinite edge look from the fairway. So when it pins in the back section of this green, it's nearly impossible to judge the distance. This is a wonderful, wonderful design.
That'll work there. Playing this shot from around 120 yards. 3 behind our leader. And he's safely on the green with that shot. Now let's switch our attention to Will Zalatoris.
Yeah, he's looking good. Just birdied his last hole.
Here's Will Zalatoris. 5 shots off the lead.
This one is chewing fiber.
Oh, how good is that? Buries it for birdie as well.
Check this out. Holding it out from the fairway. That away. Great shot.
What are we looking at for this putt, Henny?
18-footer here is what he's facing.
It's on a great line. Fair effort that. Good birdie. He's currently tied for 8th. We stride across the 15th, Rich, and we talk about strong par 4s. This is another one.
Why are the straightaway par 4s the hardest ones? We have another one right here. It's just straight away with the drive, nothing fancy about it. You find the fairway and you're left with another long iron second shot. You got a front right bunker that should see plenty of action. The one on the left, though, that's a big no-no spot, as this green does tilt pretty good from back to front.
Playing from around 210 yards here. 2 strokes off the lead. That's well played. Anything on the green from there was fine. Well, this would be a good putt to make to move into the top 5. Oh, what a stroke. Some momentum being built now. That's back-to-back birdies.
Gotta like it. 2 in a row.
And after that hole, he'll move to 9 under for the event. '16th, the last of the par 3s on this golf course, but it's not an easy one.
This is underrated difficult. The green is big in size, but it plays awfully small because there's really small sections to this green. The front, the back right, and the top left. If you find the right section, job well done. If you don't, it's going to be a difficult 2-putt to say the least.
Why don't we catch up with Will Zalatoris?
Coming off a bogey on the last hole.
And the players left with an opportunity to get up and down here from the sand. And back to the course with the live action. Well, this would be a big putt to make. A birdie always nice, but particularly when it's a 2. And he's down there. You got a read?
This is just going right the whole way along.
It's just about 3 feet away.
This is for par.
The putt drops, and we're moving on. No movement up or down on the leaderboard for this player. The penultimate hole at Torrey Pines South is not a long par 4, but the danger lurks everywhere.
You want to avoid the bunkers on the right, but in doing so, you bring the ravine on the left into play, don't you? Second shot, though, plays slightly uphill. There's 2 distinct sections, the left and the right here. A little bit of a spine that bisects this green. This is a really good, strong par 4. Par is a great score.
That is absolutely brilliant. This putt to move into a tie for first. That was a well-played hole. Take the birdie. He finds himself at the top of the leaderboard. And the finishing hole here at Torrey Pines South, one of the more famous on the PGA Tour, site of so many of Tiger's wonderful victories. Par 5. You can get there in 2.
You can, but you have to thread your drive in between those 4 fairway bunkers that line the fairway. From there, now you have to think, do I want to take on this flag with the bunkers right, bunkers left, and certainly the water in front? It's a daunting second shot, but if you're brave enough to take it on, then you could reap massive rewards.
This one looks like it's headed towards the rough. Trying to get to 11 under with this putt. Penny, take us through the break on this putt.
This one's going to gently meander from the left.
And the putt drops for birdie. Rich, as this round comes to an end, this player is just barely leading the field, but absolutely loving the action this week.
No doubt, Luke. And even with the very slender lead going into tomorrow's round, Luke, I'm interested to see how well this player sleeps tonight.
Well, on behalf of myself, Luke Elvey, and Rich Bean, thanks for tuning in. Catch you tomorrow.